These are the visuals that we are showing you right now on your screens. What you're seeing on the left-hand side are the visuals of that tragic stampede that had broken out, in which a lady lost her life and her small child, her young child, had sustained serious injuries. He was hospitalized. He's still receiving treatment. And what we are seeing right now is the various developments after Allu Arjun was produced in the Nampalli court before the magistrate had decided that he be sent to 14-day judicial custody. But what's very interesting is that the sudden twist where the victim's husband has decided to withdraw the case against the superstar. Now, what impact that will have on his case remains to be seen, but these are the visuals. And the politics around Allu Arjun's arrest has also been the talking point since morning, with the Chief Minister Revant Reddy saying that this has nothing to do with the state government and law will take its own course. Swastika joins us now for the very latest. Swastika, you have been tracking all the developments since morning, and now that we know that Allu Arjun is going to be sent to 14-day judicial custody, what happens next, and what happens now that the victim's husband has said that he is willing to withdraw the case against the superstar? How does it impact his case now?
First things first, he is not being sent to 14-day judicial custody. The hearing is underway. It is incorrect for us to say that he is being sent to 14-day judicial remand, as I have been maintaining on the ground, because the matter is still being heard in the court. I understand that in the melee of things there could be a lot of reports that go viral, and what such story was this, but we haven't been reporting on the fact that there is a 14-day judicial remand that has been given for Allu Arjun. The matter is still being heard as we speak. And the second thing is, the matter is also being heard at the Telangana High Court as we speak. And more importantly, his legal counsel is making an appeal that the quash FIR that they had filed earlier be turned into an interim bail plea if the magistrate's order here goes against Mr. Allu Arjun. Right now, we are posted outside the Nampalli Criminal Court ever since actor Allu Arjun was brought here. We've been tracking him non-stop here. His matter is still being heard, and we are waiting for his legal counsel here to come out and speak to the media or give a confirmation on the latest update. Back to you.
Right, Swastika, I do understand, as you rightly said, that the hearing is still going on, and there is, a lot of information that is coming out, some based on hearsay. But can you tell us about just who all are there inside the court? We are also getting in news, and again, I'm seeking a confirmation from you that his uncles, Pawan Kalyan and Chiranjeevi, have already rushed to his residence. Any family members who have arrived at the court to extend their support to Allu Arjun while the hearing is going on?
Well, a lot of celebrities have come in to throw in their support behind actor Allu Arjun. In fact, mega star Chiranjeevi too was at his residence earlier today. And in fact, we're given to understand that the entire film fraternity has condemned the arrest of actor Allu Arjun, and in fact has said that they stand with him strength to strength, and in fact they are going to throw in their support. As far as the Deputy Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh is concerned, Pawan Kalyan, he will not be travelling to Hyderabad per se to meet Allu Arjun's family, but we're given to understand that he too has extended his support and has condemned the arrest of actor Allu Arjun. Why is the industry condemning? Well, the industry says the stampede incident that led to the death of the woman and had putting her child at a critical stage while he continues to be in the hospital shouldn't be squarely or a sole responsibility of actor Allu Arjun. They say that it is the responsibility of the theatre owners and the police to make adequate arrangements on the ground. From Allu Arjun's team, they maintain that we did send an intimation to the Sandhya theatre owners about our arrival, and based on that, it was the actors, or rather the police's failure in creating enough bandobast. That is the main crux and the bone of contention for actor Allu Arjun's legal counsel. Again, I want to bring the focus back here on the ground. Nampalli Criminal Court, in a short while from now, we will get a clarity on what exactly has transpired in that. As of now, I want to put it on record that the judicial remand of actor Allu Arjun news is incorrect at the moment. Okay. We are waiting for a final confirmation of what exactly has transpired inside that court, while the High Court also is set to pronounce its own observation in the matter.
All right. No, thanks so much for getting us that. But just stay on with me, Swastika, because this arrest indeed is a high-profile one. A big setback in a sense to Allu Arjun, who was basking in the success of his newly released film. We also have a lot of reactions as well. Let's listen in.
Assistant Commissioner of Police. This incident, Grihaji, happened on 4th December. After 4th December, on 5th December, FIR named Allu Arjun. What is the date today? 13th. 8 days. Is he a habitual offender? Is he a direct criminal in this? Couldn't the police call him, ask him for, inquiry? Today, you directly barge into his residence, into his bedroom and arrest him. And directly you're taking him to the medical authorities, which means this is a well executed plan to send him to jail. Rule of law has to be equal to all. Here it is not a celebrity or anything. Shouldn't Allu Arjun have constitutional and legal remedies? Is our question today. Why? Why is the question we have to ask?
तेलंगाना के प्रसिद्ध एक्टर अल्लू अर्जुन जी को अभी तेलंगाना पुलिस ने अरेस्ट किया है। अरेस्ट किस जुर्म किया है, जिस प्रकार से पुलिस बता रही है, सभी लोग हैरत है। अगर पुलिस फोर्स व्यवस्था के लिए नहीं आती है तो किसकी गलती है? मैं आज मुख्यमंत्री रेवंत रेड्डी से पूछना चाहता हूं, क्या हीरो की गलती है? क्या हीरोइन की गलती है? किसकी गलती है? मुख्यमंत्री जी आप बताइए। आपका स्टेटमेंट आया कि कानून सबके लिए एक बराबर, कहां है? किधर है आपका कानून? जब से तेलंगाना में कांग्रेस की सरकार बनी है, लॉ एंड ऑर्डर तो पूरा ध्वंस हो चुका है। पता नहीं किस गली में, किस क्षेत्र में कब किसका खून हो जा रहा है, कब किसका बलात्कार हो जा रहा है, कब किसको लूटा जा रहा है।
जो हादसा हुआ है वो बहुत दर्दनाक है। वेरी सॉरी, सेंड माय कंडोलेंसेस, बट एट द सेम टाइम आई थिंक जो आप ब्लेम है सिर्फ एक इंसान पे नहीं डाल सकते।
All right, some live visuals coming in, and a lot of hangama also happening in outside the Nampalli court. We are also getting some breaking news that Allu Arjun's team of lawyers are pressing for his interim bail before the Telangana High Court as well. So I can see there a lot of activity happening outside Nampalli court, and we also have Swastika who's monitoring all the developments at Nampalli court. So that's the big news coming in, that his team of lawyers are pressing for his immediate release. They are asking and seeking for an interim bail as well. They had already asked initially before his arrest for that FIR to have been quashed, but he was arrested this morning from his residence. So this is the latest coming in. Allu Arjun and his lawyers in fact representing him are pressing for interim bail before the Telangana High Court. We are still waiting to hear from outside the Nampalli court, because our reporters have just confirmed to us that the hearing is still going on. And there's also been a twist now to this ongoing saga with the victim's husband, in fact saying that he is willing to withdraw the case against the superstar. So take a look at all these visuals coming in right now, and we are also just monitoring everything very closely, because news is coming in, fast-paced developments that have been happening since the morning when Allu Arjun was arrested from his residence. He has been arrested for the death of a woman during a stampede that broke out while his latest film was being released at the Sandhya Theatre in Hyderabad. So that's the latest news coming in right now, and I can see a lot of activity. All right, the lawyers are also refusing to speak to the media. I'm not sure if the superstar is inside that vehicle, but I'm sure he is being taken away, given the presence of the police and also the media persons who are surrounding his vehicle, and also the cops' vehicles as well. So these are the visuals that we're getting in right now. We are still waiting for more details. We will try and establish contact. We're also getting to hear that the Telangana police is seeking 14-day custody for Allu Arjun, while his own lawyers are pressing for interim bail. His uncle Chiranjeevi and Pavan Kalyan and the others are also extending their support for Allu Arjun following his arrest. That's the latest. In fact, megastar Chiranjeevi, his wife Surekha, they promptly visited Allu Arjun's residence to offer their support. Ananya, a lot of fast-paced developments right now coming in, a lot of activity outside Nampalli court. The sections that have been slapped against him are rather tough and stringent. What really are the options for his lawyer?
Well, definitely the options are being exercised before the Telangana High Court. Interim bail plea being moved by Allu Arjun's lawyers, and very categorically a big statement coming in from Allu Arjun's counsels as we speak, Avantika. is that it's not the fear of the police for the police that I'll run away. It's just to create sensationalism is why I am being kept in custody is what in fact Allu Arjun's counsels have told the court. Very clearly, this is the fast-paced development that we've been tracking from the Telangana High Court for our viewers, and very categorically strong arguments being made by, in fact, Mr. S. Niranjan Reddy before, in fact, the Telangana High Court single judge bench. And very, as I was hearing this particular case, this judge too seems a little convinced of these arguments, though the hearing still continues. He is just giving his final argument before the court. So we'll have to wait and watch as to how things pan out and whether he will be able to secure a relief from the Telangana High Court or not.
Ananya, you understand the law so well. You've been speaking to senior lawyers. What is their opinion? Because there are some people who feel that this is a brazen abuse of police power. Some feel that he's being unfairly targeted and wrongfully, being convicted for the death. Yeah.
Definitely a very crucial point since we talk about whether his role was there or not there. A very crucial point was raised by his counsels before the
Received breaking news. Hang on, Ananya. We've just received breaking news that the verdict is out. 14-day judicial custody for Allu Arjun. That's a big breaking news coming in and a huge setback for Allu Arjun, the superstar who was arrested in the Sandhya Theatre stampede case in which a lady had lost her life and her son sustaining grievous injuries. Big news, 14-day judicial custody for Allu Arjun. He will remain in police custody for some time. His lawyers, in fact, had desperately tried for seeking his bail for his release. Swastika is joining us now. Swastika, over to you. Big news coming in, 14-day judicial custody for Allu Arjun.
Well, it's a judicial remand for Allu Arjun. He's being taken to Chanchalgura prison as we speak. In fact, the verdict just came out a few minutes back. Actor Allu Arjun's legal team now challenging for interim bail plea in the Telangana High Court. But while that happens in the High Court, the argument is still underway. You can just look at the commotion that's happened. Allu Arjun just passed a few minutes ago. He's being taken to the Chanchalgura prison. He's been announced as 14-day judicial remand. He'll continue to remain in remand as of now, and that's what the magistrate has. This is a huge setback for actor Allu Arjun as he's going to be taken to the Chanchalgura prison is what we are given to understand at the moment. And in fact, actor Allu Arjun was accompanied by his father-in-law. His entire family, we are given to speak, is making its way right now. They're also waiting for the Telangana High Court now to decide on the matter. But be that as it may, on the ground it is a huge setback for actor Allu Arjun, who is accused number 11 in the Sandhya Theatre stampede case, which claimed the life of one woman. Now he's, as we speak, let me show you what's happening on the ground. There's a huge entourage of actor Allu Arjun's fans who are now making their way to trail the convoy that's taken actor Allu Arjun. In fact, he was just a few minutes ago taken out of the Nampally Criminal Court complex. So we're getting you all the reports here from the ground. The magistrate said there is enough grounds to suggest that it was actor Allu Arjun's arrival at the theatre that led to the stampede-like situation. The police, in fact, has been able to convince the fact that there was no proper intimation given to them. It was an arbitrary arrival that triggered the stampede-like situation, and thereby actor Allu Arjun has now been
permission for the road show. So that's why the PP had argumented to the judge that he didn't take any permission for the road show. That's why this incident happened. He had a civil right, constitutional right that he can watch a movie as a citizen, but he can't come as a road show. The PP clearly stated that he didn't take permission for the road show.
Then what did the judge say?
Yeah, he had obeyed with that, the PP argument. That's why he had remanded now.
Put in the judicial custody?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bail కాదు, ఇది ఓన్లీ రిమాండ్ చేయొద్దు అని. కల్పబుల్ హోమిసైడ్ 118/1 అలాగే 105 ప్రకారం ఏదైతే ఉన్నదో దాంట్లో కల్పబుల్ హోమిసైడ్ 118/1 చెప్పారు కదా, దాంట్లో కంపల్సరీ నాన్ బెయిలబుల్ ఉన్నది. ఒక ప్రాణాన్ని దృష్టిలో పెట్టుకొని పీపీ గారు కూడా గట్టి.
Okay, Ananya, I'm just getting you in here. We were just getting a lawyer's reaction. So 14-day judicial custody, what does that mean? Will he be taken into police custody? Will he be in jail? Because there's also a case that is being heard in the Telangana High Court for his interim bail plea.
Well, definitely, Avantika. As far as the lower court order is concerned, and still, since there is no order yet from Telangana High Court, he will have to go to the jail since it's a judicial custody. It's not a police custody remand. And very clearly, at this particular point of time, a big question has been asked by, in fact, the Telangana High Court to the state's lawyer that whether releasing Allu Arjun in this particular case is possible by the Telangana High Court or not. It's a judicial question that's being asked. The public prosecutor also has to make its point. And in fact, it is the PP is at this juncture saying that, at this juncture, accused cannot file an interim application. He needs to move before, in fact, an appropriate forum, that is the lower court, is what the public prosecutor has told. In fact, the Telangana High Court, but the court coming in a cross question asking that, but they have placed judgment, FIR is before me, and their arrested remand report also is not required at this juncture. So definitely this seems that some kind of a relief might come in for in
so
fact.
are you saying that that they would be now resting their hopes on the Telangana High Court that is hearing two cases about him? One is the request to quash his FIR, and the second for the bail plea?
Well, definitely, that is, both of these cases are being heard. It's an interim bail plea that has been moved in that quashing petition that was filed before the Telangana High Court, and the judge is definitely considering whether or not to grant interim relief to Allu Arjun in this particular case or not. All eyes are now on the Telangana High Court. Everything rests upon the Telangana High Court as far as Allu Arjun's arrest in this particular case is concerned.
Right, but this is a big setback indeed, isn't it, Ananya? And what about the Telangana High Court? What if the Telangana High Court quashes that FIR against him? So what happens now to this 14-day judicial custody? Do you foresee this to be happening, or will it have to wait for a few days?
Well, quashing of the FIR seems to be a very, very longer relief. It's a final relief. That might not happen today, but if at all interim bail is granted by the court, then this remand order does not sustain. The High Court's order would prevail over this particular remand order, and Allu Arjun could be released on bail in this particular case.
All right, but what are the chances now for Allu Arjun? If you could just explain it to us, what happens from here on?
Well, seeing in fact what is happening before the Telangana High Court, there seems to be a chance for Allu Arjun to in fact secure bail in this particular case. Definitely the chances seems to be high, but only time can tell us as to whether or not this relief is granted to Allu Arjun by the Telangana High Court or not.
All right, so a big development happening there. Allu Arjun now being sent to 14-day judicial custody. There was a lot of commotion, in fact, outside the Nampalli court, and he was, in fact, earlier in the day arrested in a very dramatic way from his residence. He was then taken for a medical test. He seemed to be extremely calm throughout while he was being taken from one place to the other. Then he was produced to the Nampalli court, and simultaneously, while all this was being done, his own team of lawyers had moved the Telangana High Court. They immediately sought for the quashing of the FIR, which Ananya said is going to take some time, and while they were doing that, they also filed a separate, in fact, case and plea seeking for his interim bail plea. So those two cases being heard separately at the Telangana High Court, and while that was happening, the Nampalli court, where he was produced, Allu Arjun, the superstar who has been arrested for the Sandhya Theatre Stampede case, has now been sent to 14 days judicial custody. I'm going to go straight across now to Swastika. She's outside Nampalli court. She's at the ground. She's been reporting since the morning on these fast-paced developments. Swastika, over to you. Have you been able to speak to the lawyers? What are they saying about this development from the Nampalli court and him being sent to 14-day judicial custody?
Well, we just managed to get a word of the lawyer, and they have just confirmed to us that he's been sent to 14-day judicial remand effectively till the 27th of December. This comes as a huge blow for actor Allu Arjun's team, but they've also seen their hope on the High Court as well, where the argument is still currently underway. Allu Arjun's team is fighting for an interim bail plea that they have filed at the Telangana High Court, and that is a key development that we need to watch out for. Meanwhile, the actor has been taken in a police convoy. He will be taken to the Chanchalpura prison, which is here in the city, and this definitely comes as a huge setback for actor Allu Arjun and his entire family, in fact, as they're trying to make their way to meet him here at the prison, but it is going to be very difficult. So breaking news that we've been reporting actor Allu Arjun sent to 14-day judicial remand. He will continue to be there till the 27th of December. And this even as his legal team continues to seek an interim bail plea from the Telangana High Court. So we need to wait and watch what the High Court finally decides. And based on that, the fate of actor Allu Arjun will be decided.
Here, the Telangana High Court on those two cases. And Anya was telling us that his team of lawyers immediately, moved the Telangana High Court seeking an interim bail plea, as you had just sent us that information, and also the quashing of the FIR. When can that verdict come out from the Telangana High Court? Because that is clearly going to affect this, the verdict coming in from the Nampally court, sending him to the 14-day judicial custody.
Well, you're right, because the hearing and the arguments are currently underway, and that's going to be a crucial development to watch out for. But one big setback is, yes, the magistrate has found validity in the police's arguments, police's counsel, prosecutor, and that's the reason why today Allu Arjun is being sent to 14-day judicial remand. That's what is to the magistrate court. And the court particularly, if they had filed a quash FIR in a bid to nix the FIR on the whole. But the matter, before it could come up on the bench, soon escalated as actor Allu Arjun this morning was arrested by the Hyderabad police. Right. Subsequently, the legal team of Allu Arjun then tried to make an appeal before the High Court that the quash FIR should be not considered infructuous and instead turned into an interim bail plea. So right now, the hearing is currently underway for the interim bail plea that team has managed to file at the Telangana High Court. The arguments are on currently.
Swastika, what a complete turnaround of events. A big setback to Allu Arjun, who was arrested in a rather dramatic way early in the morning from his residence. Is it true that, he is getting a lot of support, or his family at this point, from Chiranjeevi, from Pavan Kalyan, his two uncles? We're getting to hear that the megastar Chiranjeevi, in fact, even made a prompt visit to Allu Arjun's residence expressing support and solidarity. Have you heard from the other superstars as well? What do they have to say about all these developments that have been happening?
Well,
Swastika, can you hear me?
yes, I'm audible to you.
Go ahead. Tell us about Chiranjeevi and Pavan Kalyan.
Alright, there was some audio disturbance. But yes, to give an update to our viewers, Chiranjeevi was there at Allu Arjun's residence earlier this morning. In fact, meeting his father, Allu Arvind. Allu Arvind is a big producer and an influential person as far as the Tollywood film industry is concerned. The entire industry on the whole has been rattled and taken aback by this development, even as Pushpa 2 continues to break records. 1,000 crores have been garnered by the film already. It released, that is on the 5th of December, and it is a record-breaking number managed to gather for him yet again. But parallelly, this entire case has taken the family to the court. We had seen earlier producer Dil Raju, who is also the Telangana Film Federation chairman, in fact, come out and showing his support behind Allu Arjun. The film industry stand is very clear. Stampede was an unfortunate incident, but to blame the whole incident on Allu Arjun and even to an extent of arresting him and now putting him into judicial remand is a complete devastation and what they call vilification of an artist who's a national winner. Remember, and the state government, very interestingly, under Chief Minister Revant Reddy, not to wane into the topic. Right. Chief Minister earlier today in New Delhi, while speaking to reporters off ground, said that the state government believes that the law should take its own course and they're not going to intervene into the matter. And this reaction comes in the backdrop of both the BJP and the BRS training its guns on the Congress for targeting the film industry.
All right, just kindly stay on with me, Swastika, because we've just received the reaction of one of the lawyers. Let's just play that out. I'll keep coming back to you. And let's just hear what the lawyer had to say after that big news came about of the 14-day judicial custody for superstar Allu Arjun.
The hero totally had a knowledge about the public gathering. So he come with road show. He didn't take any permission for the road show. So that's why the PP had argumented to the judge that he didn't take any permission for the road show. That's why this incident happened. He had a civil right, constitutional right that he can watch a movie as a citizen. Okay. But he can't come as a road show. The PP clearly stated that he didn't take permission for the road show. He had obeyed with that, the PP argument. That's why he had remanded now.
All right, so that's the big news coming in right here at this hour. The Telugu superstar Allu Arjun, who was arrested, has now been sent to 14-day judicial custody. We are keeping a very close track on this story, but time for a short break. Stay tuned, I'll be right back.
The arrest has taken place in the Sandhya Theatre Stampede case. An arrest of Allu Arjun, that's the latest that we are learning of. A big development that's coming in from down south, where we learn of Allu Arjun's arrest in the Sandhya Theatre Stampede case. Remember, his film Pushpa 2 has released. It is garnering a lot of applause and attention, and fans are thronging to the cinemas to watch Allu Arjun perform a second time. As far as the sequel is concerned, it resulted in a stampede-like situation where he visited one of the theatres, and now he has been arrested in that particular case. This is a big development. My colleague Swastika has more details. Yes, Swastika.
Well, yes, Allu Arjun is now being taken to the Chikatpalli police station, and this is in connection with the stampede and the death of a woman with respect to that incident that happened and sent shockwaves. This is on the premiere night. What we're picking up at this juncture, the details are very sketchy, but we know for a fact that the police station, he's been taken to the Chikatpalli police station, that's one, and he's named as the fourth accused in the case.
Okay.
His security man have also been charged, and that is because, remember, when Allu Arjun was entering the venue on the premiere night, his security man were mainly responsible for pushing the crowd that created a cascading effect resulting in the stampede. Now, accusation against him is that he did not inform the police about his arrival at the venue, which is why the police said they did at their best in providing bandobast, but they could not do beyond a certain point. That was because there was not prior permission. Entry and exit points for the actor were also not fixed. It was a nexus that police says was decided completely by the actors team and Sandhya Theatre owners. Remember, the Sandhya Theatre owners have been also arrested in the case. They are currently in the judicial custody. Of course, the biggest update right now is actor Allu Arjun being taken to the police station. We're given to understand what I guess the police will be doing questioning as well. And the second most important thing is that he had also moved the Telangana High Court, remember, seeking a quash petition against the FIR. So that matter has not come up yet. So from legal perspective also, we are expecting that his team may move the court. But at this juncture, he has been taken to the police station.
Right, Swastika, considering Allu Arjun's being there at the premiere night at the Sandhya Theatre, and like you're rightly mentioning that the theatre owners have already been arrested, he's been named as the fourth accused in this particular case. This resulted in the loss of life of one person, a lady, and her son was critically injured. Now, anything that you're learning that came out of the questioning of the theatre owners, the Sandhya Theatre owners, that has led to this particular arrest? And this will be a high-profile arrest. We're talking about Allu Arjun after all.
Well, yes, with respect to the Sandhya owners, they have in fact accepted the fact that this was a fault from their side. But why has Allu Arjun been booked is mainly because the stampede was an aftermath of his arrival. The situation there was such, we've been reporting from Sandhya Theatre as well, it's a cramped space. At that juncture, there were almost 2 lakh plus people who had arrived there. Word went out that Allu Arjun would be arriving there, and immediately, because of that commotion and pandemonium, the moment Allu Arjun arrived, there was complete chaos. Like I said, his security men were pushing the people who had gathered over there, and it was a chaotic situation. As it went out of hand, the security men, in fact, mainly while Allu Arjun was making his way into the theatre, the stampede happened immediately after he entered the theatre, because the moment the guards went through the people, Allu Arjun was safe inside watching the movie, but outside there was complete chaos, and that in that melee of things, one woman, the woman who died, identified as Revati, got caught in the stampede. She lost her sense, and immediately, by the time the police sort of dragged her away and tried to revive her, her pulses had already dropped. Her son had also, in fact, lost consciousness in the crowd. He's battling for his life. He continues to be critical, but is currently stable in that sense. He's had a difficulty in breathing. His lungs have been damaged because of the stampede, because he's just an 8-year-old boy. Now, in that context, the Hyderabad police cracking down on not just the theatres but the biggest name of all, Allu Arjun, is a big thing.
Absolutely. Swastika, anything that you're learning after the 3 arrests that had taken place before Allu Arjun's, why at all was there no police permission that was taken? Because it was supposed to be a big event. This is the premiere night of Pushpa 2. We all saw what happened when the release of Pushpa, the first film, really took place. And of course, the sequel was much awaited. And that preparation amply needed to be done. So why was that permission really not taken? What are the theatre owners really saying in that regard?
Well, this is completely a fault of the theatre owners and Allu Arjun's team, because if you look at what the police says, police were completely outnumbered. There were over 2 lakh people who had gathered there around 9:30. By the time they got the word that Allu Arjun and his team of entourage, and Rashmika Mandana was also there, his wife was also there, Devi Sri Prasad, the music director, was also there. By the time they arrived at the scene, in fact, the police did not have adequate personnel at their end to handle the situation. Plus, the crowd had gone berserk. The videos from that night are absolutely, one would say, crazy in that sense, because such was the paraphernalia for Allu Arjun. The police could hardly do anything, and this is definitely, questions were raised on the part of the police also. The police came up with 3 different arguments. Number one is the fact that Sandhya theatre owners did not inform them of Allu Arjun's arrival. It was completely decided between the theatre owners and Allu Arjun's team. By the time they got to know that Allu Arjun was arriving at the venue, they did not fix a proper entry or exit. Actors visiting movie theatres on the premise.
Welcome back. You're watching Nation at 5 with me, Avantika Singh, sponsored by Green Lamb Laminates. And now we're getting in some very interesting news, some breaking news about the big face-off between the Congress party and the BJP over the constitution debate that has been going on since morning, that was kicked off by the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. And now we are getting to hear from the Union Parliamentary Affairs Minister, Kiran Rijiju, who's taken on Trinamool Congress MP Mahua Mitra. In fact, he's saying that Kiran Rijiju is also going to be speaking to the Speaker on Mahua Mitra. He said that we will take appropriate parliamentary action against such a comment by the member, and he has assured both the houses that this matter will be taken up with the Speaker. Now, I'm going to go straight across now to Payal for more on this. Payal, over to you. Fill us in with all the details. What exactly happened?
You know, when Mahua Mitra was making a speech in Parliament, she made reference to 3 things that the BJP took offense to, and Nishikant Dubey immediately got up and said that this is not acceptable. One being that the BJP has amended the FCRA norms to its advantage. That is something which the BJP took objection to. Now the Speaker came onto the chair and said that he will look into the record. But what Kiran Rijiju stood up and said, remember, Kiran Rijiju is also a former law minister. He said, you know, when Mahua Mitra comes up and speaks about the late Justice Loya's case over here in a very inappropriate manner, it should not behave of just an apology. It should not just behave of looking into the records. It's going to be a very strong objection that will be taken into is that as well. So with the fact that Mahua subtly mentioned Prime Minister Modi visiting Chief Justice of India, then D.Y. Chandrachud's residence for Ganpati, and she made a reference to that, and she made a sarcastic comment on that, which has not gone down too well with the BJP leadership. But you know, Union Minister Kiran Rijiju got up when he mentioned the Justice Loya case, saying that anybody and everybody cannot be sitting here in Parliament and talking inappropriately about a case which has been shut well, and of course 3 judges examined this as well. So he says, you know, the records can be examined, but he wanted to assure the Parliament that an appropriate parliamentary action will be taken against him. Now, what is appropriate parliamentary action will be, we'll have to just wait and see once the House resumes.
Oh, absolutely, Payal. And you know,
Supreme Court against the coercive criminal actions of these 2 agencies. 95% of cases by these 2 agencies are against opposition politicians. Since 2014, 25 opposition leaders facing corruption have crossed over to the BJP. 23 of them have got reprieves. 3 cases are closed. 20 cases are stalled. For years, the CBI was used to put pressure on NDTV and its promoters via a bogus case. Now that the channel
ने तो अलग से अपने से स्टेटमेंट दिया कि मेरे टेबल पर जस्टिस लोया खा रहे थे और उनकी जो है असामयिक मौत हुई है। इसके बाद जो है इस तरह की बातें जो करते हैं इनको ऑथेंटिकेट करने चाहिए सर, कि कोई भी आरोप लगा देना, किसी के जज के ऊपर आरोप लगा देना, और सारे चीफ जस्टिस को कोट किया है। चीफ जस्टिस इसके पहले भी प्रधानमंत्री के यहाँ जाते रहे। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री यदि गए, कोई अन्याय नहीं हो गया सर। तो प्रधानमंत्री के ऊपर जो एलिगेशन है चीफ जस्टिस के बारे
heard a fiery exchange between Nishikant Dupe of the BJP and Mahua Moitra. Can you just give us more context to this? Because, Mahua Moitra is known for her strident combativeness. She's known to take on the government on several issues. But what was this all about, the big ruckus that broke out?
Like I said, Nishikant Dubey over here is objecting to the reference being made to the FCRA details, and also to the fact that he made an objection to the fact that the Chief Justice's visit, the visit of the Prime Minister to the Chief Justice's residence is being looked into. But the most important thing that everybody took objection to, especially Kiran Rijiju, who is the Parliament Affairs Minister, is that her mention of the BJP is probably hand in glove, as far as the late Justice Loya case is concerned. That is something which the BJP says is not acceptable. It is a court case which has been well settled. 3 judges looked into the case as well, and that's something which they mentioned about. And they said that she had no business to come here and talk about the conduct of judges and name judges on the floor of the House. That's something which they've said. Although the Speaker tried to quell the situation by saying we will look into the parliamentary records and probably look at getting it expunged, but Kiran Rijiju says that there has to be appropriate parliamentary action which has to be taken against her for making a reference like this to a case. So, will anybody and everybody be allowed to come here and speak about judges and, cast aspersions on their conduct? That's something which is being spoken about as well. In the earlier times also, Mahua Moitra has come into a lot of trouble for actually having cast aspersions on the conduct of the former Chief Justice of India, Ranjan Gogoi, once he became a member of Parliament. She'd actually, made a mention of several cases against him, and she had cast aspersions on his conduct. That even then the BJP objected hammer and tongs against her. But we'll have to just wait and see what action the government is mulling on the entire matter.
All right, Payal, thank you so much for joining us and getting us more on that fiery exchange between the TMC MP and the Union Affair Parliamentary Minister, who has assured the House that all of this will be looked into, and we will continue to get you more on that. But it is time for us to take a short break. Stay tuned. I'll be back with lots more.
The arrest has taken place in the Sandhya Theatre Stampede case. An arrest of Allu Arjun, that's the latest that we are learning of. A big development that's coming in from down south, where we learn of Allu Arjun's arrest in the Sandhya Theatre Stampede case. Remember, his film Pushpa 2 has released. It is garnering a lot of applause and attention, and fans are thronging to the cinemas to watch Allu Arjun perform a second time. As far as the sequel is concerned, it resulted in a stampede-like situation where he visited one of the theatres, and now he has been arrested in the particular case. This is a big development. My colleague Swastika has more details. Yes, Swastika.
Well, yes, Allu Arjun is now being taken to the Chikatpalli police station, and this is in connection with the stampede and the death of a woman with respect to that incident that happened and sent shockwaves. This is on the premiere night. What we're picking up at this juncture, the details are very sketchy, but we know for a fact that the police station, he's been taken to the Chikatpalli police station, that's one, and he's named as the 4th accused in the case.
Okay.
His security man have also been charged, and that is because, remember, when Allu Arjun was entering the venue on the premiere night, his security man were mainly responsible for pushing the crowd that created a cascading effect resulting in the stampede. Now, accusation against him is that he did not inform the police about his arrival at the venue, which is why the police said they did at their best in providing bandobast, but they could not do beyond a certain point. That was because there was not prior permission. Entry and exit points for the actor were also not fixed. It was a nexus that police says was decided completely by the actors team and Sandhya Theatre owners. Remember, the Sandhya Theatre owners have been also arrested in the case. They are currently in the judicial custody. Of course, the biggest update right now is actor Allu Arjun being taken to the police station. We're given to understand what I guess the police will be doing questioning as well. And the second most important thing is that he had also moved the Telangana High Court, remember, seeking a quash petition against the FIR. So that matter has not come up yet. So from legal perspective also, we are expecting that his team may move the court. But at this juncture, he has been taken to the police station.
Right. Swastika, considering Allu Arjun's being there at the premiere night at the Sandhya Theatre.
Welcome back, and in what would be music to Allu Arjun's fans, the Telangana High Court has granted bail for Allu Arjun. So the High Court has granted interim bail for superstar, the Telugu superstar Allu Arjun, who just a few minutes back, in fact, was being sent to 14-day judicial custody after the Nampalli court had sent him to 14-day judicial custody. In fact, we also had the visuals of him entering the Chanchalguda jail, and just while that was happening, comes this big news about the Telangana High Court granting Allu Arjun interim bail. So big news coming in, and so many twists to this ongoing saga since morning, ever since he was arrested. So that's the news coming in right now. The Telangana High Court granting bail, interim bail to Allu Arjun. In fact, that's the news coming in, and a big relief for the Telugu superstar, who in fact was being sent to Chanchalguda jail to serve his 14-day judicial custody. Swastika is joining us. Swastika, just take a look at how things have changed within minutes from getting 14-day judicial custody to interim bail. Tell us all. Swastika, can you hear me? Okay, I'll go back to Swastika in just a bit, but that's the big news coming in, the big development that Allu Arjun is a free man, at least for now. He has been granted interim bail by the Telangana High Court that had been hearing his case, and while he was given 14-day judicial custody from the Nampalli court, simultaneously his case was being heard in the Telangana High Court. Ananya is also with us. Ananya, and we were just talking about that. We were just speaking about, the hearing that was going on in the Telangana High Court. This is a huge relief and such a twist in the tale.
Almost a 2.5-hour hearing comes to an end with, in fact, Allu Arjun securing a relief from the Telangana High Court. It's a big development coming in from, in fact, the Telangana High Court. There, a single judge bench completely giving it out to Allu Arjun, clearly saying that he has a right to life and he has to be treated as had he been a common man, the relief would have been granted, and hence he too is equal before the law. Interim bail is his right, is what the Telangana High Court had to say. And now interim bail coming in for Allu Arjun in this particular case. So very significantly, a big order from the Telangana High Court there coming in for Allu Arjun in this particular case. So very clearly, the order would be dictated. These are the observations that have come in from the Telangana High Court very clearly for Allu Arjun, and clearly a big relief coming in for the actor, the South superstar from the Telangana High Court single judges bench.
From being sent to Chanchalguda jail after getting 14-day judicial custody, within minutes now, getting this news of him getting interim bail is a huge, significant development. Allu Arjun can also breathe a sigh of relief. Ananya, I wanted to understand from you, the case that was presented and was fought in the Telangana High Court and what really happened out there. If you could just share some details, after which he has received this interim bail.
Well, definitely extensive arguments have been extended from both these sides. Senior counsel appearing for Allu Arjun, giving out, in fact, a lot more clarity onto what this case was. They had sought a permission. They had given prior intimation to, in fact, the police authorities there. And now, finally, making out a case for interim bail for Allu Arjun in this particular case. So very clearly, inclination has been granted by the Telangana High Court to give him interim bail, though for a limited period of time, but definitely it's a big relief being secured by, the South actor in this particular case. So very clearly and categorically at this particular point of time, Allu Arjun securing a clear relief from the Telangana High Court in this particular case. So how have things turned onto their heads for 14 days of judicial custody coming to, in fact, interim bail being granted. So the detailed order is still being dictated in the court. The court had stated that it will be granting an interim bail. So we'll have to wait for the final order to actually come out as to how many days of interim bail has been granted to Allu Arjun in this particular case. So very clearly and categorically at this point of time, big relief being secured by Allu Arjun in this particular case.
Oh, absolutely, Ananya. Things have really changed rather swiftly for Allu Arjun in a span of just few hours, from being sent to Chanchalguda jail after the Nampalli court had given him 14 days judicial custody to now getting an interim bail from the Telangana High Court. I'm going to go straight across now to Swastika. Swastika, over to you. Fill us in with all the details on what grounds has he got interim bail from the Telangana High Court.
Well, unprecedented day for actor Allu Arjun. Remember, just a short while ago, the magistrate had confirmed him to 14-day judicial remand. He's already reached Chanchalguda prison, and now he will be breathing a heavy sigh of relief, and this is something that his legal team was extremely confident about. In fact, they did in fact present before the court the fact that actor Allu Arjun cannot be solely held responsible for the stampede that occurred. There were many lapses that needs to be held accountable for, but actor Allu Arjun being dragged into this is nothing but an aberration. The second most important thing is that the condition, it's a conditional interim bail for actor Allu Arjun. We are hearing that there will be a bond that on the basis of which is still being pronounced as we speak. So we're waiting for finer details from the court on that front. But yes, the big breaking news right now is that the Telangana High Court has issued relief to actor Allu Arjun by granting him bail. And this minutes after the Nampally court had remanded him to judicial custody till the 27th of December. And this also is going to open a new floodgate of criticism for the Telangana government, particularly Chief Minister Revant Reddy, who has not had a specifically comfortable relationship with the film industry, if you see on the whole. So much so that now there are condemnation coming in from former Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Jagan Mohan Reddy also, who's put it in question, saying how can the stampede incident be the sole responsibility or blame or failure of actor Allu Arjun? So many questions.
Why is that, Swastika? Throw some light. Could you just elaborate on that? Why is it that the present Chief Minister has had a tumultuous relationship with the film industry and specifically a few film stars?
Well, if you look at the past incidents with respect to the Kondam Sureka controversy, that really did not go down well with the perception of the government and the film industry. And this constant vilification of attaching the film industry and attaching them to drug menace in the state, this is something that the film industry has had constant objection to. But the first incident would definitely be the Konda Sureka controversy, where BRS working president K.T. Ramana was being blamed for the divorce of Naga Chaitanya and Samantha and several other controversial comments. The government did find itself on the back foot in that controversy because the entire film industry in one voice had condemned the comments that were made by this minister. Cut to that, now you have actor Allu Arjun. Remember, Pushpa 2 is still running in the theatres, and how 1,000+ crores it has already garnered. He's literally one of the biggest names of the Tollywood film industry, a pan-India star. Him being arbitrarily, as many would say, being arrested from his house. He just accused number 15. Yes, he's been booked. He was booked under non-bailable offences. But instead of issuing a notice to him, directly arresting him without any arrest memo in the first place, did not go down well as far as the police procedure is concerned. The state government is definitely battling that as a perception battle. Politically, everything set aside, this is a huge relief for actor Allu Arjun. The next thing that his team would do is to squash the FIR on the whole. That process is also underway.
And on that part, let me just take that question to Ananya. Ananya, so about the FIR now, that still remains to be quashed in the Telangana High Court. It has been a dramatic turn of events since morning, ever since he was arrested and then being sent to 14-day judicial custody and now getting interim bail from the Telangana High Court. But what about that FIR that his lawyers had earlier also sought to be quashed?
Well, definitely, this is a petition that would continue for a little while. The prosecutor will put in his response to whether this FIR is maintainable or not maintainable. And, the lawyers appearing for Allu Arjun, in fact, senior advocate Niranjan Reddy, who appeared for Allu Arjun, has constantly been stating that, the sections of 105 DNS do not, be made out against, in fact, Allu Arjun. And in fact, we saw the judge also making a similar observation that it has to be satisfied to the court that, that the sections of the culpable homicide, the ingredients have to be, sufficed, and prima facie it has to appear that, these ingredients are actually made out against Allu Arjun in this particular case, because the whole debate is whether it is a case of culpable homicide or mere negligence. So very clearly that also comes into the play when the detailed hearing on the quashing petition takes place. But the most important thing that had to be for the legal team of Allu Arjun, as we were speaking since the very beginning of this particular case, since the arrest of Allu Arjun happened in this case, was to secure him a release, to stop him from going to the jail. And that's exactly what his legal team has succeeded in doing, has got him an interim bail, though for a limited period. But from the Telangana High Court, a big relief being sought for Allu Arjun in this particular case. See the dramatic turns of event coming in from him being arrested to him being remanded to 14 days of judicial custody, and subsequently won't even have to spend a single minute in judicial custody, because even before those orders could be executed, he has secured a bail from the Telangana High Court.
Oh, absolutely. He must have reached the jail and only to have his car to turn around. We're getting a reaction from Kishan Reddy also, who has thrown his weight behind Allu Arjun. In fact, he's saying that the arrest of Allu Arjun is irresponsible, unwarranted. The intent behind this arrest seems motivated, as the organizers of the show claim to have informed the concerned authorities in advance. And the fast-paced events that has been happening since morning, Swastika, is a film in itself. From jail to bail within a span of just few minutes, such a drastic turnaround of events. This news of him getting now interim bail will be a huge relief to his family members.
Absolutely, and in fact, we also have a reaction from Rashmika Mandana. She's the lead star in Pushpa series, and in fact, quote her, she says, "I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. The incident that happened was an unfortunate and deeply saddening one. However, it's disheartening to see everything blamed on a single individual. This situation is both unbelievable and heartbreaking." This is her first ever reaction, and it is also pertinent to point out that at the premiere night, Rashmika Mandana was also along with Allu Arjun. Because Allu Arjun, his wife, Rashmika, and the movie's music director, Devi Shri Prasad, is also a very big name here in Tollywood. So, definitely, like I said, has come as a huge shocker, considering how in a matter of few hours the entire event preceding actor Allu Arjun. What is interesting to point out is throughout the entire court proceedings and him being dragged from the to police station, actor Allu Arjun rather had a calm demeanor, because we did see him pass right in front of us and he was cheering on, he was waving at his fans, and he had a smile on his face. I don't know, perhaps one would say confident that he would come out without any legal trouble, because he did in fact move the High Court to seek squashing of the FIR. So from his legal team, they did work up on the job. And as far as actor Allu Arjun's team was concerned, they themselves have in fact remained very what one would say calm and composed and strategical in their approach, because that was clearly seen in the actor's face. In fact, right now at Chanchalgura prison, the actor will be coming out in a few moments from now. He just went in, and we are expecting him to come out in a huge filmy style, because this is nothing but vindication.
Yes. Have you heard from his team? It's been a long, arduous day for him as well.
Well, one can only hope for him to say something, and we are expecting that to happen anytime soon. But again, it depends on him, because he's had a long day, one would say, and definitely minute by minute there have been dramatic changes. The High Court granting him an interim bail minutes after, or rather just a couple of minutes after the magistrate had given him judicial remand. So definitely he's going to take some time for personally, I guess, to process through the entire thing, and also he will be bound by the High Court not to talk much about the whole issue. So those are the conditions that could be imposed on him. And yes, we are waiting for him to come out of Chanchalgura prison.
Right, Ananya, just explain this for me. He has received interim bail from the Telangana High Court, but is he completely out of the woods with the case of that FIR being quashed? And also, we're also getting to hear that the victim's husband has said that he's willing to withdraw the case. So how will that impact Allu Arjun's case as far as the FIR is concerned?
Well, definitely that might not be taking a lot of toll on as to how things would actually go for Allu Arjun, because the case is already before the courts of law, and the trial court and the High Court is already dealing off with this particular matter. But as far as I could tell you from what I could judge from the hearing that was happening in Telangana High Court, the kind of observations that have come in from the judge in the first place, the judge who's hearing his quashing petition and also his interim bail application in that quashing petition, was that the court was really convinced, and the only question, the very important and persistent question that remains to be seen, is whether or not section 105 of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, or in fact the offence of culpable homicide not amounting to murder, actually lie in against Allu Arjun or not, whether the ingredients of that particular section are satisfied or not, because that is one of the main concerns why the court had in mind while it was hearing the petition. And there were constant questions to the State's Counsel, who only had one answer, that he would be putting forth a reply, though there was no kind of a proper justification. Just like Mr. Reddy, who was appearing for Allu Arjun, had various case laws, including that of Arnab Goswami's case, including that of Shah Rukh Khan's case when it comes to the Rees film release. That was a classic case when it comes to culpable homicide not amounting to murder, and that is something that he had cited in order to show that the ingredients of the offence of culpable homicide not amounting to murder are not attracted against Allu Arjun in this particular case. They are not made out against him in the prima facie way. So very clearly the court is now still now dictating its interim order when it comes to granting bail to Allu Arjun in this particular case. But at the same point of time, there might be some observation that could come in when it comes to the prima facie ingredients of this particular offence.
Let me ask Swastika then. Swastika, have you heard from the Telangana High Court anything about the observation that they made while they granted Allu Arjun, the Telugu superstar, interim bail?
Well, right now we're getting a reaction from Allu Arjun's father-in-law, in fact, Chandrasekhar, who said that the High Court has said that Allu Arjun cannot be held responsible for the entire incident, and it is the fans' blessings that was instrumental in granting him bail. He said whatever unfair was done to him has now been reversed, and we pose our faith in the judiciary for ensuring justice. The court, in fact, we are waiting for the conditions that have been imposed on actor Allu Arjun. There's been a bond surety on the basis of which he'll be granted bail, but we're waiting for the final details on that front.
All right. Swastika and Ananya, thank you both for joining us. What a dramatic turnaround of events from getting 14-day judicial custody from the Nampalli court to finally getting interim bail from the Telangana High Court. It's really been a dramatic day for Allu Arjun after he was arrested from his residence. He was then taken to a medical test, and then he was produced in the Nampalli court. He was on his way to Chanchalguda jail when the Telangana High Court had come out with the order of him being granted interim bail. So a dramatic day for Allu Arjun and also his family members, including his wife, who was there at the residence when the police had arrived to arrest him. He had been arrested earlier in the morning in the Sandhya Theatre stampede case, in which a lady tragically lost his life, and her child, her son, in fact, had received grievous injuries and had been hospitalized as well. And in fact, in a dramatic twist to this entire case, the victim's husband has also said that he's willing to withdraw the case that he had filed against the superstar Allu Arjun, who had also condoled the death of that woman. He in fact had said that he's extremely upset and was traumatized with the news of the lady's death, and had even offered 25 lakhs as compensation. So this has been the big day today in Allu Arjun's life. He had been basking in the glory of his super successful film when all of a sudden his life turned around when he was arrested. He was sent to jail, and then he is now a free man, at least temporarily, after the Telangana High Court had granted him interim bail. And that's it from me. But the news and updates continue on the other side with my colleague Poonam.
Greenlam Laminates presents CNN News 18 Primetime Studio.
Good evening, you're watching CNN News 18. This is Plain Speak with me, Poonam Burde, and we're coming to you live from the CNN News 18 Primetime Studio, presented by Greenlam Laminates. On the 4th of December, a special